Randy Fishburne and Dane Selznick. They played for trophies and to get their names on a t-shirt. The 80s brought domination by Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. They won 5 Manhattans. Meanwhile, St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos were on their way. In the decade, they won 83 tournaments, including 2 Manhattans. But now, things have changed. The team of the 90s is Karch Karai and Kent Steffes. They've won 7 in a row. They're looking to make it 8, and a big crowd is going to be on hand to see if they can. Can the Dream Team keep dreaming at Manhattan? Find out next as Prime Network brings us an Association of Volleyball Professionals presentation. Yes, it's the 1992 Killer Loop Manhattan Beach Open, presented by Paul Mitchell. Live from beautiful Manhattan Beach, California, where the heat is coming off the water. It is a beautiful sunny day, and we welcome you to the heartland of American volleyball, where today a massive, enthusiastic, rowdy crowd is assembled for the 33rd annual Killer Loop Manhattan Beach Open. Humongous crowd. They are coming. If you build it, if there's sand there, they will come. And some of the great and most knowledgeable fans in the country settling around A court, or court 1, or court 14, and it's technically called, getting set for semifinal action. The current $500,000 Miller Lite Grand Prix. Steffes, Karch behind, Smith, Johnson ahead of Stoklos now. Remember, Stoklos did not play last week. Whitmarsh, Frohoff, and Dodd. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Paul Sunderland. This is our semifinal matchup. Brian Lewis and Craig Moothart, a new team this week. They played 3 times together last year against a team that has gone all the way. St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Interesting, last week, Stoklos, a no-show. He did not play, and so Smith had to pick up another partner, Todd Schaefer. $100,000, and Manhattan, of course, is always a major. First place, 20, 12, 9, 7, and 6. So the prize
start there. You see Jim Leonard up top, our #1 referee. He's being helped down below by the marvelous Marvin Hall. Moothart and Lewis, excuse me, Chris, really got this tournament started when they beat Adam Johnson and Ricky Ludes in the quarterfinals, and they have just been rolling from there. Smith and Stoklos have struggled mightily throughout this tournament.
Smith and Stoklos have already played 4 matches so far today. Smith, 35 years old, but a veteran. He has won $63,000 this year. 2 wins and 6 seconds. He's won over $1 million, $1,056,496. So the king of the beach, one of the 2 kings of the beach until they are dethroned, gets sets to play. 132 with Stoklos. The other one, of course, with Jim Mingus. Craig Moothart, and Moothart drills one. It appeared to be on the line, and a side out. So Brian Lewis will serve first.
Brian Lewis to serve.
Brian Lewis, only 24 years of age, has just split with Pat Powers. You remember he won the big tournament in Clearwater. Never played major college volleyball. MVP twice at Orange Coast Community College. Great outside hitter, but turning it on the beach.
First serve goes to Smith, and he puts it away. St. John Smith, purple trunks, white top. It appears to be a blue visor for identification. And now his partner, the sport's first $1 million man, Randy Stoklos. They said they were treating his back last week. He has had some shoulder problems, and he's wearing a little, nope, he's not wearing a little thing on his knee. He's had some knee problems.
Come on, Sonny, come
Moothart tapping it down the line.
That's the key. If Craig Moothart can side out for about an hour, they've got a good chance to win. Moothart, married, beautiful wife Heather. He's 29 years old. Never played college volleyball of any kind. Went to Irvine High School. He's had finishes of 3rd with Steve Obradovich, 3rd with John Stevenson, and 4th at Dallas with Wally Goodrich. So this is stratified air, rare air for Craig Moothart, but he's been here before. This is clearly the best opportunity of his career to get to the finals of a tournament so far.
Once again, semifinal action at Manhattan Beach, California. Smith and Stoklos,
Lewis and Moothart. The winner to play Karchkarai and Kent Steffes. They'll try Lewis.
Mine.
And Lewis is blocked. Smith looking for the first point of the afternoon.
Oh, Moot's in the net, yeah.
And that violation.
Nice set by Randy Stoklos. Craig Moothart has been blocking extremely well throughout the course of this tournament. But St. John Smith getting a poke at his hands. Moothart with the error. Moothart in perfect position, just getting over late. And here he comes with a pokey, maybe a little bit over anxious, and the net violation. A lot of short serves from Smith here early.
He's been doing that all day as Lewis thunders one through. So Brian Lewis give him the kill. And Lewis will go back to serve. Remember, Brian Lewis was teamed with Pat Powers. They played 15 tournaments last year, so far this year. And Pat Powers told him this week that he was dumping him. Actually, Lewis told me that he found out actually from Leif Hansen Tuesday at the beach. He said, "You're not playing with Powers, are you?" And he said, "Oh, that's news to me." Then he went home, found a message from Powers saying, "You're not playing with me." As Lewis aces Stoklos.
And he's still angry about it and taking it out on the field here as he's working his way towards the finals. Brian Lewis, I think, has the best jump serve on tour this season. Adam Johnson, the best last year. Lewis, much more aggressive. Great location, change of pace. The best server on tour this year.
Keep in mind, Randy Stoklos is Brian Lewis's idol in volleyball, and that one travels long. So there have been some rumblings. If Randy Stoklos was to break up with St. John Smith, he might go to Brian Lewis. I asked Lewis about that scenario. He said he would love to see that scenario.
But he told me that he hadn't really talked to Stoklos about it yet at all. And, you know, I explained my rationale for the same thinking, and he said, well, I hope Randy thinks the same thing. I'd love to play with him.
Moothart cutting inside. So Craig Moothart, a veteran. He's had some slumps in his career, but he's also had some terrific finishes, as Paul told you.
Craig Moothart can play the game and really thought that he could have been an outstanding indoor player, but wanted to get out on the beach. Played it in high school to improve his indoor game and fell in love with it and has been dedicating himself to it ever since.
We're tied at 1 as Stoklos crushes one off Lewis out of bounds. So the Kings of the Beach, Smith and Stoklos, have played 4 matches, all on time. Paul, how tired are they?
Very. It's been hot all day. We've got a little bit of a breeze right now as we enter the semifinals of the consolation bracket. But it's been very, very hot all weekend. This is their 6th match of the day. They're very, very tired, no doubt about it.
Working on Lewis. And he snaps one through.
I'm surprised they're serving him. Brian Lewis is a pinpoint passer. Moothart can set the ball. I would be going to Moothart here and try to put pressure on him in that he's not used to playing at this level for a long period of time.
If you're wondering about the split still, Moothart was scheduled to play with Bill Bouillon. And Lewis got him away. They made a deal. Bouillon was going to play with Hansen. Then Bouillon sprained his ankle and beat Bouillon not 100%. So Lewis made out like a bandit, picking up the very, very good Craig Moothart. Stoklos blocked. So Craig Moothart at the net stuffs it down. And Moothart and Lewis go ahead 2-1.
One of the keys to the success of Lewis and Moothart this weekend, the serving of Brian Lewis, but clearly the much improved blocking of Craig Moothart, pointing to the line against big Randy Stoklos, saying right there it was in.
Okay, 1-2. Moothart blocking line on Smith and angle on Stoklos. 1-2, if that's correct. So let's see where Lewis puts this ball. Lewis with 1 career tournament win, the Boulder tournament, the Cuervo this year. This time he can't connect. Okay, Louis whaps it out of bounds. We'll take a short break. We're coming back. 2-1, Moothart and Louis. By Paul Mitchell, Chris Marlowe, Paul Sunderland.
Tight again.
Little poke, Lewis, got it! The prayer shot from Brian Lewis, it was answered.
Learned probably how to shoot on too effectively from Randy Stoklos. Right now, the ball control of Smith and Stoklos really suffering. Trap sets, tight sets, missed passes. Moothart and Lewis in control at 6-1.
So Smith and Stoklos trying to take their time. They started at 9th place this morning.
Go, Moot.
As Brian Lewis sensing that he's in a powerful position here. Want to dispatch the Kings if you can quickly and save up your energy for Karchkarai and Kent Steffes. So 2-2 this time. They're blocking angle. Look for him to go Stoklos angle. Here it comes. Gonna try to drop in. Louis will take the line. Got it. Ooh, Smith right there to help him out. That is the advantage of that spiker coverage, Paul.
Well, we talked about it last week with Karch Kirai and how after you set the ball, you look at the defender, you have to help him with the call, and then you must cover. There are only a couple of players who do it time and time again, and it's just a question of concentration and dedication to keeping the ball in play. Smith and Kirai the best at it.
6-1, Moot and Louis. Stokey got an ace. Curling into the corner, so Smith and Stoklos get their second point.
Serving not from his normal side, the left, from the right side, serving towards the ocean, into the wind, high loopy over the top of Brian Lewis.
2 serving 6.
Brian Lewis was asking for a sand timeout, and Jim Leonard waved him off, told him no.
Can't give a sand timeout when the guy serves an ace in your partner's corner. That's ridiculous.
I just said he told him no and was probably well within his rights.
Kings have a chance. Point number 3. Yes! Fans have always been a little lukewarm to Smith Stoklos here, primarily because of the rivalry with Hovland and Dodd, but they're liking him.
Very territorial. Smith and Stoklos, few opportunities like this, but they've been converting, looking for the 6-4 side change. They trail 6-3. And I think a very good timeout by Craig Moothart and Brian Lewis. The momentum had really switched to the side of Smith and Stoklos, who were looking dead in the water just 2 minutes ago.
A reminder, another biggie next week. We'll be on to Philadelphia for the Miller Lite Philadelphia Open. Check your local listings for dates and times as the AVP Pro Beach Volleyball Tour rolls on. After that, it's over to beautiful Belmar Beach. And things continue in Southern California. They call this the South Bay. Marine Avenue, Rosecrans, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach. And fans, perhaps the most accessible beach in the South Bay, or maybe on the coast of California. I heard Sam Lagana, the PA announcer for the AVP, say, this is the biggest event in the history of the world. Biggest beach volleyball event in the history of the world. Sam's known for a little hype, but heck, he might be right.
There are a number now on tour that have this kind of crowd. Is this crowd bigger than Chicago?
Stoklos again.
Stoklos coming up big. Speaking of Chicago, not the Windy City 6-4 side change.
So Stoklos leading the Kings back into contention. They trail by 2. Welcome back to Manhattan. One of the major sponsors this year, Paul Mitchell Salon Hair Care. And we go into Chug Salon, where he is working on a beautiful babe named Jill Arnold. And this is how they sculpt your hair. In case you're wondering, as they work along, yes, it's Independence Day, and they may look at that. I'm not sure exactly what they call that, the volcano head, but it is gorgeous, and she had quite a few admirers checking that out. I'd like to see you with that haircut, Paul. What do you think?
Don't hold your breath, but it looked just fine on that beautiful young girl.
Yeah.
Paul Mitchell, a huge supporter of volleyball, sponsoring tournaments all over and doing all kinds of good things in the sport. Glad to have him.
Looked like she had a dunce cap on under her hair. I don't know how
she's still here.
I know.
We can track her down, and I'll tell her that Chris thinks
No,
she looks like a dunce.
We come out of the start. And Lewis here on the horse side of the court.
I don't think anybody's ever seen that hairstyle before.
No,
let me tell you.
No.
Not for maybe Cher.
Not since the 60s Beehive look.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the action. 9-6. Craig Moothart, Brian Lewis leading. St. John Smith just blocked a ball, however.
Yeah, and I just wrote it down. 9-6 side change. Smith stuff block, a huge play.
Nice play by Moothart to take it high. And Moothart hits it out of bounds. So the Kings get another point. Now 7-9. The Kings are creeping. Can Kings creep? Yeah, marching, I should say, to within 2.
You don't want to let Smith and Stoklos get their second win. Moothart and Lewis had them down and have not been able to stomp them out. Another
Stoklos,
chance.
nice dig. Oh, Moot, stumbling, rumbling, he's got it. Not yet. Smith on the left. Can he put it away? The King, yes!
Boy, different team when Randy Stoklos is setting the ball in transition. Boy, can he set the ball, and that's why people are serving him. They don't want to see him setting St. John Smith all day Saturday and Sunday.
Little different strategy now as Smith and Stoklos starting to take Paul Sunderland's advice and serve Moothart as he wanders over near the players' little booth over there. He's going to wipe off. He took a heavy dive in there.
Not sure if this must be a sand timeout. An unlimited number now, a change from the rules of last season where you had a maximum of 4. Now, as long as the referee says, yeah, you look dirty, you can stop and go ahead and clean up. Now they take the timeout. That's what I think they should disallow.
30 seconds
That's just
timeout.
stalling. Part of the rules, let them do it now, but they got to change that rule next year.
9-8, Moothart and Lewis. A history lesson at Manhattan Beach. Let's go back. A hot day in the early 80s. Recognize that man? An early look at Tim Hovland and his partner, Mike Dodd.
Settle back into your chair.
That was then. This is now. Chris Marlowe with Paul Sunderland, 13-12. Brian Lewis and Craig Moothart hanging on ahead of St. John Smith and Randy Stoklos. Lewis and Moothart got out 6-1. Smith and Stoklos have caught up, and it's been seesaw most of the way. And the fans interested to see this game because the winner has to go on and play Karchkarai and Kent Steffes, who now must be the overwhelming favorite.
Again, they won the winner's bracket. They came back through the losers, remember, in Fort Worth, Texas, when they were in the same position as Smith and Stoklos came back and won that tournament. That was really a great feat, but from then on, they've been on an unbelievable victory run and are back in the hotel or in someone's house here in Manhattan Beach, probably up at Steve Timmons' house, actually, who just bought a new home here on the Strand, and watching as their competition sweats up a storm.
Smith. Now back on the left side of your screen, trailing. Let's see if he's in float serve. Oh, good short serve. Moothart. Moot hit it out.
Look at that.
Tough chance right over the top of Stoklos. We're tied at 13. You have to win by 2 or the clock could run out. 1:10 to go.
Hey, I've been ready to give up Smith and Stoklos for dead twice now in this match, at 9-5 and at 13-10, but they have just continued to storm back, and Moothart and Lewis using another one of their 4 timeouts. That is now 3 timeouts they have taken, or is that 2? They've taken 3, Chris, so they only have 1 left.
Manufacturers of the Spalding Top Flight AVP model.
So the participants trying to get into our final. Keep in mind $100,000, a big payday for these pros. The normal tournament is $75,000.
They went to Chicopee, Massachusetts.
You've read a lot about what has happened to Smith and Stoklos. 3 wins in their last 22. Look at that. They haven't won since I got married. You think that's an omen, Paul? And 2-8 in the last 10 finals. Bill McDonald and Steve Obradovich. I was talking to McDonald one day, and he says, I called Smith and Stoklos' last win ever. I might have called their last win ever. They never win again. I called it. It'll be a history.
So then it was your fault for getting married, McDonald's fault for calling it.
Hey, my wife loved
But they haven't won since.
Oh! Stokey! The Kings, you beat them, you stop them, you kick them, and they won't go away. Now, first chance for Smith Stoklos.
What a great comeback, not once, but twice for Smith and Stoklos.
Boot got to put it away. Looking for the cut shot, maybe. Oh, and he hits it hard. Boot with a big bomb.
When he's grunting and when he's screaming, he stays aggressive. Got to go after the ball.
What's he been waiting for?
Well, I don't know. Again, when I talked about the beginning of the match, I thought that Smith and Stoklos' opportunity was to work on Craig Moothart early. But Lewis and Moothart have had their chances to put this match away and get into the finals.
Louis trying to dial one up. They'll try Smith. Nice dig by Louis Moody. It's back over. Stoklos, will he detonate?
Tight set.
And Stoklos makes do. Smith and Stoklos had a little lapse where they gave up a couple of points on short serves. But since that, they have gotten their act right back together.
Takers, we talked about how hot it is. All the ball boys out here, they're all wearing socks, and they're not even running around and playing, and then they're kneeling on towels. It's hot.
Final timeout for Craig Moothart and Brian Lewis. So they hit the deck as Stoklos and Smith will talk it over. Once again, at halftime, Paul will talk to the winners. We're going to read the mailbag with Karchkarai. You have some fun with that. We're going to have another fun cam, and this one's fun. Sunday's got his stuff going. And, of course, waiting in the wings, Karai and Steffes. Pretty confident
pretty confident, Karian Stoklos. A chance
I'll
to
tell you,
chat with
if they're not confident, then you got to figure the dream team, meaning Jordan, Bird, etc., have no confidence going into the Olympics.
All right, semifinal.
2 teams on a roll.
Championship point. Over Stokey can't get there, so Moothart sides out in a clutch situation. Get the feeling that the people here in Manhattan want to see Smith Stoklos play Karch and Kent. No offense against Moothart and Lewis, they've played marvelously, but I get the feeling here they want Smith Stoklos and Karian Stoklos.
The local favorites, Hovland and Dodd, Brent Frohoff, Mike Whitmarsh, out of the tournament right now.
Stoklos. And Stoklos. Oh, did he hit it out? He did. He looped it. He killer looped it right into the corner.
14-14.
Jeez.
And we should remind you that the clock could come into play here. 37.7 to play.
Do not have to win by 2 if time expires. Going back to the short serve once again to Randy Stoklos.
Stoklos.
Same shot.
Side out. Smith and Stoklos.
32.5 seconds to go.
Big play by Stoklos, coming right back to get the side out.
As Paul told you, you don't have to win by 2 if it's on time. Moothart. Got it. Nice shot.
Goes the line. Side out.
Moothart has been coming through under some big pressure late in this match. And I don't think I'd rather have anybody back at the service line in this situation other than Brian Lewis. He's looking right into his bag right now. Where am I going to serve this ball?
Tied at 14. Smith. Moody has it.
Smart shot! What a smart shot by Brian Lewis.
Louis and Moot by 1 with 21 seconds.
If I'm Smith and Stoklos, I maybe use a timeout here and talk about this a little bit. If Smith is served, go on 1 to Stoklos to save some time on the clock. Make Brian Lewis think about what he wants to do serving. I'd take a timeout here.
Plenty of time for 4 plays. Lewis, game point. Stoklos, whapping it hard. You can see Stoklos. He was coming that time. No more little loop shots. No more cut shots. He was going to bang it.
No, you don't dink in that situation. If there is a good side, Smith and Stoklos are on it, but only marginally is there a side advantage here this afternoon.
If we finish tied 15-15, sudden death. Next point wins. Stoklos
going to Moot here deep.
16 seconds.
Oh! The Kings tie it up. And Stokey whooping it up, pointing his finger. We are never done. We are never down and out.
Which finger was that Stokey was pointing there, Sunday?
He was the index finger. It was the polite finger.
So 15-15, we'll change sides. Don't go away. 13.2 seconds left in the game. Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland, we're in sudden death. Next point wins. Moothart and Lewis won the coin toss. They elected to serve. Smith and Stoklos on the other side. 15-15. Clock is not a factor. And Stoklos pumps it up. I should mention the clock is a slight factor. They will change sides after 30 seconds, but in terms of the clock running down, doesn't really matter.
Stoklos, Smith.
Change in strategy in sudden death, Paul?
No. No, you just get back to the basics. You got to serve tough. Somebody just has to make a play. First point wins. Who's going to make a big play?
For the game, Moot. Out of bounds. Moot. He thought about going for it. It was blocked by Stoklos, hanging for the line.
At first, he thought that ball was out by a foot, maybe a foot and a half, but then he saw it was much closer and almost reached out and had second thoughts. Good safe shot, and Moot going right with it to the line. That's when you really rely on your partner to give you a call.
Now, Moothart and Lewis talking it over. What do you do? Tied at 15. Stoklos. Doug Moot. No, he can't get
Not
there.
going to get there. Not going to get there. And Brian Lewis.
He was begging.
Well, but that was the match right there. Right in the pocket. Sure, it's coming 90 miles an hour, but Brian Lewis was right there.
How about a sky ball from St. John Smith on this? You're
I
on
like
a
it.
Good side. You send it up. It's going to be tough to handle coming in.
Well, I think that because they're on the good side, I think Smith will go towards the ocean into the wind at Craig Moothart.
We're in sudden death. Next point wins.
Yep, there it is. Say the Kings of the Beach were dead 3 separate times. And instead, we'll see him in the finals.
The Kings live. The Kings live. Long live the Kings.